guys, Bellhaven here. So today I want to do a Things and Stuff Explained video, and I want to try and help explain XP pools, and leveling. So anytime you kill something or you do a quest, you get experience. This experience, if you have everything locked, will go into your experience pool. So if you're not trying to level any of your skills, all of that experience you're getting goes in your experience pool, which can be seen down here. So if you hit K, open up your skills tree, you can see your pooled adventurer experience. Now also, in your crafters tab, there's your separate pool for producer experience. So each of them has a pool for experience. Now, when you're leveling something up, and I'll pull up my life tree because it's my main tree. If you're leveling something up, like I am Resurrection, it will only pull, there it goes. It will only pull experience from this pool if I use this skill. So if I use Healing Touch, it's not going to pull anything because I have it locked. The options you have are Maintain, which isn't really implemented just yet. Training, where it's actively pulling experience into the skill every time you use it. Unlearn, which I'm not sure how effective that is yet. And not training, which will lock it. So if I were to use Healing Touch, it won't pull anything out of my experience pool. And it will leave it at the current level it is. So me using Healing Touch, of course, isn't going to put any of this experience into this skill. So that's the basics. Now, going forward from that, something I would like to talk to you guys about is your pooled experience. You want to have a good size pooled experience. And this is why. When you're leveling up skills, and I don't know the exact percentages, so if you do, please leave a comment below so I can know. But when you're leveling up your skills, it takes a percentage of your pooled experience to put into your skill. The higher the skill, the more experience it's going to pull. So I'm leveling up Resurrection right now. If I use Res on something, it will pull a little percentage of my pooled experience because it's only level 19. The bigger this skill gets, like say if it was my Healing Touch, actually I can show you. So if I start leveling Healing Touch and I use that skill, and you see it's 346,028. You see how it takes a decent amount of my XP out. Now let's say I try to do, let's find a skill that I have that's lower. Alright, so let's go with Air's Embrace. Now watch my pool this time. With Air's Embrace, it's only at 12. You see, it didn't even take 100. It only took a small percentage because it's a lower level. So, that is why it is so important when you get your skills to a certain point to lock them, because they will just completely drain your experience pool. And how much pulled out is based on a percentage. So if I had more pooled experience, then more experience would go into the skill. And I actually have a little graph of this for you guys. So say this is our skill, and let's say I hit this skill. If I only have 10,000 XP in my pooled experience, and let's say it takes out 10% of that, it's only going to put 1,000 XP into the skill. And let's say this skill requires 50,000 XP to get to the next level. So if I only have 10,000 pooled XP, it's going to take me forever to get this skill up. Now, if I have 100,000 pooled experience, then it will be taking 10% of that, which will be 10,000 XP. And again, if I have 1,000,000, it's going to be taking out 100,000. So the more pooled experience you have, the more experience will be going into your skill each time you use it, making it level up faster and more efficiently. Now, let's say you have like 5 different skills turned on. And let's say all 5 of these skills are trying to take 10% of whatever XP you have. It's going to drain your pool super fast. It is extremely ineffective, and you will not really level up anything. It'll just be very slowly draining all your XP little by little into each skill, versus being able to get a skill up to 40 while still building your your XP pool. And I'm really hoping this is making sense, because I know it's super confusing. So now that we kind of understand how the experience is pulled out, let's talk about the skills themselves. So each skill gives you a certain amount of times you can use it in a deck. Now, I'm not going to cover decks this video. If that's something you're interested in and would like me to cover how to do decks, leave a comment below. I'd be happy to do that for you guys. But I am going to pull up a deck to illustrate my point for the skills. So with a skill, depending on its level, determines how many times you can put that glyph into your deck, or how many times you can rotate use it. So, well, that's an accurate that last statement, but it's how many times you can put it into your deck to up the likelihood of seeing that spell. So you can see all of these have up to 4 as an option, and this one only has up to 2. There's a couple of key points where that changes. So when you first learn a skill or ability, you can see that deflect is at level 1. I have an option to use 1. When you go up to level 20 in a skill, so let's see here, 5 and 8, 20. I have blind at 21. So once you hit level 20, you can use up to 3. So it goes, level 1 is 1. I believe it's level 10 gives you 2. Level 20 gives you 3. And then level 40 gives you 4. The maximum that you can have is 5, and that's at 80. So with that in mind, let's talk about locking your skills. My life tree, I had gotten everything to 40 and locked everything at 40 before I did anything else. Now, I am starting to bring some of them up, and I'm starting to lock them at 60. I'm kind of inching them along. But I only ever train one skill at a time, because I don't want to deplete my pooled experience. I don't want to make it so that every one of my skills is very slowly draining, but I'm not actually getting anywhere. So that's something to keep in mind. Keep your skills that you are training very specific. Keep in mind that if you want to get a skill up, you need the experience pool to do it, first of all. And second of all, you need to not be trying to train other things at the same time. You want to get these up as quickly as you can so that you have more of those glyphs to put into your deck. The more glyphs you have, the more you can use the skill to level it up more. It'll appear more. So really, key things on this is you want to pool your experience. So when I first start, I pretty much lock every skill. You know, I pull up experience to start with. Once I get all this pooled, all the experience that I need pooled, once I feel I have an adequate pool, you know, which I usually aim for at least 100,000 to start with, then I start doing my levels. I pick one thing at a time. So when I started with a group. So I used Healing Touch. When I didn't have a group, I started with the sword, so I put points into bladed combat so I could do a little damage and survive. Once I finished healing touch, once I got it to 40, I locked it. And I then unlocked all 3 of these abilities. I did these one at a time. That way it's not completely depleting my pooled experience. So one last thing I want to note as well is that if you're training a skill while you're out fighting things, every time you use it, it will still pull from your pooled experience, but you'll also be making pooled experience as well. And it only takes when you're using it. So if you notice your pooled experience is going down, then you're using more experience than you're gaining. And I think that's really important to keep in mind. So I wanted to show you also the pooled experience going up. So let's find something little to fight. We'll move this over here. Well, I guess there's good. Also, the same principles go for crafting, but crafting's a lot easier. Alright, so we're going to take out our wands, because you know we're badass. And we're going to go try to kill this wolf that keeps running away from me. Okay, so you see there, I was at 3, 4, 5, 7, 13, so that gained me 100 experience. I didn't resurrect anything, you know, and I'm not training Searing Sun, and I didn't use anything else. I wasn't training Chain Lightning, so I know that killing a large gray wolf corpse gives me 100 experience. Had I been training Chain Lightning, depending at the level, it would have pulled every time I used it. So hopefully this video has been really helpful on kind of how experience works, how pulling works, and getting your levels upward. If you have any other questions or there's something you feel I didn't really cover, please leave a comment below. I am happy to answer. I do try to cover as much as I can though, so leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me.